Red bird rustles. Are we good? Are we going? Yes. Okay. Hey everybody. I just thought that while I'm here, like between manicures, between video arcs, yeah, sure, fuck it, they can be arcs, between collaborations, between whatever else I had planned, when all I have right now is a whole bunch of like half-finished videos taken in various places before I got the Tascam, that I would like sit down and do a little channel update, because I'm sure you've all noticed that since starting it in November, October, whenever I started it, my channel's been a mess. And part of it is, excuse me, I know part of it is, you know, how to put this delicately. Part of it is absolutely pandemic stuff, you know. My family being home all the time. My partner, he's supportive and he's cool with me and what I'm trying to do here. But he is the one going out and literally risking his life. You know, not just because he could catch the virus, but also because the position he's in, he is the one that deals with problems, and he has been threatened with physical harm on more than one occasion, for enforcing the rules. And you know, it's decayed a little bit, the fear of it, as fear and anxiety does. But you know, there was a point where I would absolutely like shake for an hour after he left the house in the morning, wondering if today was the day he was gonna get killed for doing his job or hurt for doing his job. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I bring it up because like he's going through some legitimate bullshit. So when he's home, he has free reign of the house and he has full control of what noises are happening and what's on TV and what music is playing, and it makes him feel, you know, in control of his life. So I'm not going to ask him in his off hours to be quiet for me. Oh, my child is jumping up and down. I don't know if anyone can hear it. That's the other thing, is like, I don't know when I'm going to have stretches of quiet time in the afternoon, because my filming space that I transform every time I try to film is actually also like where my kid sits for Zoom school. And yeah, I just haven't been able to carve out time to like, I haven't been able to carve out a schedule. I try to tell people about me before they have to learn. You know, I try to let people know that I'm noise. And I try to let people know that, along with knowing that, like, by design, I have to be an enormous flake. Because of choices I made. Probably going back to high school. But they are my choices to live with. So, after the influx of all of the new followers, I guess I wanted to nail down, if not a weekly schedule, because I can't promise that my quiet time and my tech will support, Sunday, Thursday, or, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or whatever I could come up with. I was looking at all of the half-finished videos that I have, trying to figure out how to arc them in a way that made sense to me, and in a way that I could maintain, and in a way that my brain would like moving forward. And I had a layout at one point, and then I counted it, and I was like, that is 9 videos in 1 month, plus shorts. I have no guarantee of that, especially since, like, I'm working off of an HP laptop that just crashes sometimes and deletes hours worth of Filmora work. But yeah, I guess if I'm starting to gain subscribers, I should nail down an order. I'm stuck to the chair. Let me spin, and then I'll keep going. I almost did this video, like, in the nude, from here up, just to capitalize on an inside joke I have going with another, well, not an inside joke, but like a laugh I and another ASMR artist friend have every once in a while. But, oh, there's my partner. Loud ass. I love him. Oh well, I can do this with a little background noise. It's not a role play. Yeah, I don't think I could cleave to a weekly schedule. I don't think I could say, like, dates of the month. The most I can tell you is that I think I can commit to 5 videos a month. 2 of which will be incredibly simple, and then 3 that'll be a little more complicated. And I don't really understand the whole shorts thing, but, like, I guess I can put them out on, like, the 1st or 2nd of the month, and, like, the 15th or 16th. 2 a month's not bad, right? Yeah. But I can do a couple shorts a month, and my first video of the month, I want to be a card reading, which I know I haven't done before, because, I wanted to get holiday-themed videos out of the way, and then I had collaborations, and then I had, like, other shit that was at the forefront of my mind, and February sucked. I just never got around to it, even though that's, like, the content I want to be making, and the content I think I can keep making sustainably. I hope this is getting picked up on the task cam, all of these knots. But, yeah, my first video of the month is going to be a card reading, and I will introduce you to my decks at the end of this video. And then I might have something to do with that later, depending on how everyone feels. About how I do with my monthly card readings, and then my second and fourth videos of the month are going to be focused on singular triggers. The same singular trigger for both videos. They're just going to be like highly gendered. Hopefully in opposite directions. It won't always be the binary genders, you know. But hopefully you all will put up with the way I explore gender and gender presentation and gender expectation. Which leads to talking about like my fifth video of the month. The last video I put out in the month will probably be like a whisper rant or a whisper ramble or a pep talk, and I have quite a few. You know, I have a list of like, you know, a longer explanation of that thing I say all the time about you don't have to be good to deserve decency and respect and dignity, and furthermore, you don't have to live up to anyone else's expectation of what it means to be good but your own. You know, I have a rant on patriarchal gender expectation and how like everyone should be exploring, even cis people should explore their own gender, because then at least you'll be doing it on purpose. I have one on how you can aim for people's attention and people's affection while still not giving a single shit whether you get it or not. That one's hard for some people to grasp. But yeah, fifth video of the month is going to be whispered talking, and then the middle video of the month, my third video of the month, is probably going to be longer, or well, let me not say that, because it's also where I'm going to plug in like any contributions I have to, like if I get any other collaborations, that's where that'll go, in the middle of the month. And between the two highly gendered videos, or it'll be a no talking video, or like my own role plays that I come up with. I don't have many. This is fucking hilarious. This is hilarious. I actually began my ASMR journey and interest disliking role plays because it made triggers inconsistent, and like I was watching it to fall asleep, not consume a narrative. But all that changed. Yeah. Where was I? Reading highly gendered whispers, possible no talking longer trigger videos, or role plays. Did I mention the shorts? I think I mentioned the shorts. Anyway, I don't really understand shorts. So what I'm going to do with shorts is I think I'll put one out on like the first or second of the month, depending on how much, like I have a house route, so like I have a first of the month chore list. I guess I can toss the short on there, but I can do first or second of the month one short, and then like 15th or 16th for the back half of the month. I thought of assigning dates to all of these to be like on, you know, first of the month is going to be the short, and the third of the month is going to be the card reading, and, you know, 15th of the month and the last video of the month was always going to be on the 28th, so that I could guarantee I got one in February too. But like, I won't be able to stick to that. There's too much in my life that I have no control over. My schedule changes spontaneously all the time, but going to adjust real fast again. But yeah, so that's that. I think I just wanted to get a quick video out because like I did have a huge influx of subscribers. I actually considered making like the last video of the month, the whisper rant, and I still might. I'm probably going to, because like based off of someone requesting it because, you know, they wanted that comfort. And, you know, Asian American and Pacific Islanders deserve that as well. You know, Jewish people deserve that, Muslim people deserve that, disabled people deserve that, queer people. I'm not going to make a queer one because, like, why would I make something comforting myself? Someone else can make a video comforting me. I'd appreciate it. But, like, I don't, if making a brand of it feels like capitalizing, and also like specifically capitalizing on black pain, you know what I mean? That's why I didn't say anything when I woke up and I had already broken 100 subscribers. Like, I'm not going to celebrate that when it's like, it's not dirty, obviously, but it's also like, I just said shit that was true, and it shouldn't have been as big of a deal. Like, it being a big deal to the people it was a big deal to is 100% valid, and, like, you know, you're allowed to be comforted by it, but I don't appreciate that, like, it was such a big deal because of the dearth of material for it, if that makes any sense at all. Yeah. Still kind of pissed about it. But it has its place. I can plug it into the rant space. And we'll see what I come up with, you know, further research into what would be the most comforting in that situation. Like, again, it's all stuff that makes sense to me already, and it's all stuff that, like, I already learned and internalized and used to combat the rest of my internalized anti-blackness, racism, ableism, queerphobia, fatphobia, all of the other things that we are raised to either belittle or dismiss, or however it ends up marginalized. Yeah. I don't know, I'm still thinking about it, and at least I'm thinking about it, but what is thought without action? Blah, blah, blah. We'll see. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video.
I'll be back. I'm going to push it for a little bit. Alright?
I again don't remember where I was. I love living with men. I think I was saying I wasn't ready for the card yet. Fuck. Anyway, again, it's a ramble. It's not going to be organized, and it's probably not going to make much sense, but it's a little hangout during the day, or, you know, just something to have on for company, or hopefully it helps put you to sleep. Yeah. I just wanted to make a video saying hi to everyone new, saying thank you for swinging by, and I wanted to introduce you to my decks so that you can start developing your affinities for them. I haven't talked much.
Okay, you can continue.
Glad to have your permission. I don't remember where I try to keep to if you're all going to be here hanging out. I think I touched on everything I wanted to before introducing you to my decks so that you can start developing your affinities for them. I haven't talked a lot about my spirituality or lack thereof much because I know that makes people uncomfortable to encounter someone who like really doesn't believe in anything. So it's so funny when I moved down here, because I moved from a major metropolitan area down here to a rural area I used to and I still had to feel out it was safe to be wholly myself around. I don't run around here with a beard on. I wear my binder sometimes, but nobody notices. I used to tell people when I first got here that I did believe in the message of Jesus Christ, and I do, because what exactly is the message of Jesus Christ beyond that was what I was raised under. I was raised Catholic. I'm baptized and confirmed. All that other fun stuff. But what does the message of Jesus Christ boil down to? Besides the Beatitudes, Golden Rule, he who without sin cast the first stone. Those three things boil down to be nice, mind your fucking business, except where one supersedes the other, right? Because sometimes the nicest thing you can do for somebody is mind your own goddamn business, and then other times, obviously you have to stop minding your business to save someone from whatever bad situation they can't get themselves out of. But it's good guidelines to live by, but it's no longer the dogma. I follow those guidelines. I just don't follow Christian dogma or believe anything. And again, we don't have to get into it because it makes people feel really uncomfortable, but one thing I can say, I not believe in, but at least follow, is luck. I am a member of the Irish diaspora. So what is important to me is what you find in front of you and following the rules of hospitality that were so powerful. My ancestors believed they were not only what was keeping their gods alive, but also bound their gods so hard they were incapable of speaking untruths. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for me. So I keep getting so nervous that my camera's going to cut it like this. As much as I'm sitting here and just hitting you fellas off the cuff, it's an important video to me, and I'm really nervous that the video is going to cut out and be you have no more room, even though I just cleared everything off of it that I needed to. So anyway, cartomancy, to me, and maybe this is just because I had someone explain it to me a very long time ago in a way that I understood. To me, the misunderstanding of cartomancy as a form of divination, it contributes a lot to racism. It contributes a lot to, more marginalization and appropriation and stuff like that. I don't use any tarot one, because it was a game. Number two, because people misunderstand it for fortune telling instead of a focus and decision making tool. Because the three important parts of any cartomancy divination are, secondly, the cards themselves and their meanings. Thirdly, the position they pop out in the spread. But first and foremost, the most important part of any reading is the querent themselves, the person asking the question. You are supposed to focus on a specific question so that all of the pieces are forefront in your mind, and it's helping you focus and find your gut feeling on something. You know, it's like nothing can just go smooth for a single video. As soon as I said the thing, as soon as I was like, I'm so worried my phone's gonna do the thing again, where it cuts the picture, it tells me it's full, even though it's not full, and I'm gonna have to use a still image for the rest of the talking. So I saved the longer video and then started a new one, because when it happens, I never know how much I've got. But yeah, I was like, so let's bank all of that. And then when I checked the next video that I took, it had gotten to 58 seconds before it stopped recording. And then an alarm went off, so I'm going to have this great Tascam reel of me being like, oh, you mother. So that's gonna be a fun video I get to release in the future. Bloopers. But yes, I don't remember what I left off on. I feel like I say that to you fellas a lot, and I apologize. This is why I cracked cold one. Excuse me. Got a hole in my lip. I guess we can start in on the decks, because I do believe I said my thing about luck is important and what gets put in front of you is important, and of course hospitality is important. So I welcome you to my table and I introduce you to my decks. A lot of people, I mean, I am not immune to animism, I do anthropomorphize my decks, and I can't tell if they're influenced by the booklets that come with it, or the artists as I know them, or the art itself, but I do get to feeling certain types of way about them. This deck is actually really nice to me and tells me gentle things, and I hope the girls treat you gently. It's called the Journey Oracle, and I believe originally it was a set of guided journals. So that's what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to use this one for my femme presenting. I hope everyone can hear my child downstairs getting frustrated with Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. But oh, the incense stopped. I don't have to light another one. This will be the femme presenting guided journal I'm going to do, so you can have writing sounds and a little bit of a whisper. But I will tell you why I chose this one for the femmes by reading a little section of the booklet. All of the art is of feminine presenting people anyway, and there's a bit in the Miss Trafford's writings on her own sacred journey. Yeah, it's on this page. Okay, I found the bit. Sorry, I didn't do my duties, perform my research before this, but I wanted to do this like completely off the cuff for you guys. It says, I believe in keeping things as simple as possible. Much can be said with few words. You don't need long drawn-out instructions or explanations. I believe just by looking at the drawings and titles you will understand. The booklet and cards will be the springboard that launches you on the path through the doubts and questions you may have in your life. There was another bit. We all will have sadness and happiness in our lives. There will always be peaks and valleys. Life is a wheel that rolls down the road to each new place. This is my journey. Don't be surprised to see that it's yours as well. And I like that I like that for the feminine energy because as someone who has mostly fallen off the Fudge scale, if you don't know what that is, Google is free. I recognize that there is a level of maintenance, routine maintenance that goes into presenting butch. But like, a high femme doesn't have time, right? And we should respect the energy and the time that gets put into that level of presentation, especially when it happens on the daily. So that's why this is the femme deck for me. The girls don't have time for bullshit. They don't have time for long-winded, long drawn-out explanations. The book doesn't even include any walkthroughs of spreads. The most she recommends is the past, present, future spread, which is what the guided journal will be. I have a few other ideas for how to put my own spin on making these into ASMR videos. And keeping them in the same vein as a lot of other people that are like, if you found this reading today, whether it's the day I posted or it's, a year down the line, it's what you were supposed to learn today. Because again, it's just a focus tool and it is down to what the cards make you think of and bring to the forefront of your mind to help you find your gut feeling about things. So that is the Journey Oracle. This one is super cool, and I love the way the box sounds. I'm not going to read out of this one's book, but I will show you the cards themselves, because I think circle cards, despite being so hard to shuffle, I just think these are really nifty and cool. They're little circles, and I think that's fun. I'm going to choose this one to be my masculine presenting guided journal because I found a spread in it that I super appreciate. This is centering, and it is supportive, and it is making other people feel safe and held and protected, and, you know, I feel, I don't know how to explain it. You know, my masculinity feels reinforced sitting in front of a bonfire. I feel, you know, earthy and gritty, and like I could take on anything while I'm walking through the woods. I love, you know, being completely embraced by the ocean, and there's nothing better than being, you know, buffeted around on a windy day. So, I don't know. Hopefully I can explain that better when it's time for this one's discrete video. But, yeah, this one just spoke more to my butch side. And if you feel heavily drawn to the influences of the 4 ancient elements, I hope that one brings you comfort. This next one ended up being a bigger deal than I ever expected it to be honest. A friend of mine and her parents used to run, not an occult shop, but they had a shop where things were sold. And one denomination of those things were decks. So the previous 3 decks were actually loaned out to me when I said to my friend I want to be making the cartomancy ASMR videos that other people do. Like, it's, you know, it's something I value, and it's something that I think I'm good at, and I could help people. And she was down for that, so she let me take a swim through her old stock. And it turns out that this deck is very old and out of print, and, you know, very, I don't want to say it's very sought after, because I don't know that for a fact. I just know that it's expensive now. But, like, this deck is actually my biggest bully. It, you know, it tells me things that I don't want to hear, even if I know they're true. So this one is going to be my feminine full spread, because, you know, who better to tell, you know, to not take any of your shit and tell you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear than the women who came before you. And that's the whole point of the well-worn path, is that if you can, it's a multimodal deck. You know, you can use it for solo practice, you can use it for solo learning, you can learn, obviously you can use it for cartomancy, and it's a way of initiation and a way of preparing the path for the people that come after you. So yeah, it speaks to me as a parent. And I hope whoever it brings comfort to can find those videos easy. And now, I had, like, when I first asked my friend if I could borrow some of her decks, because the deck that I had been using, like, I had an oracle deck and I had an actual facts tarot deck, and you know, in my inability to connect with the tarot deck, you know, like, I didn't have time to become fluent with it. I didn't have time to, you know, achieve any literacy with it. I can't spend my time in study and account for decks that throw, like, reverse cards. You know what I mean? Like, with all of the other shit that I ended up dealing with in my adolescence and young adulthood, like, I couldn't make the time to study. So I used the oracle cards more frequently, and when I had been away at college for a while, some of them got damaged and thrown away, and I am still salty about it. But I understand why it happened the way that it did, and the choices that were made, and I just have to live with it. But I haven't had my own deck in a really long time, so I asked my friend if I could borrow some of her old stock, and she was generous enough to bring down a selection. So I was like, okay, I can do a femme presenting one, a mask presenting one, and then I can do a full spread that is a role play of like a druid or something. And high hopes. The hardest part of role plays is definitely wardrobe, and like fantasy role play in particular. The first person to mention wardrobe was Sage over at Whisper End, putting out a casting call for like a massive collaboration she wanted to do. And I jumped in like, oh, I have this great idea. I'll absolutely blow it out of the water. I can totally do this. It's only 3 minutes. And I could not find a single goddamn thing that didn't look entirely too modern for Sage's established setting. So I forget where I was going with that, but this is Ramble and it doesn't matter. Oh, I was thinking I was going to do like a high concept druid roleplay with, the costume and makeup and lighting, and I have no idea what I'm doing with my lighting. Don't believe the well, I don't know when it'll be out, but there's a collaboration I'm in. I don't know when it's coming out, but don't believe that collaboration that I'm in. That looks really, really good. Jessie fixed all of that over at Jess K Creative. Like, that was all her wizardry. I am not that good with lighting and camera work and stuff. I figured out my own green screen, but anyway, after I resigned myself to never having the costumes to do fucking anything, I was like, okay, well, I had been spending time with the decks trying to increase my fluency, and I was like, alright, whatever, I can do 2 guided journals, and then I can acquire a masculine deck, and I can do fuller spreads, also high presentation, butch and femme. And I was at the store, and this one called to me, and it is a skosh controversial for 2 reasons. And this is another one that I'm going to be reading to you because I think the author of this deck did a really good job explaining it as a transformative work. And as someone who grew up in fandom on the internet from the age of 10 or 11, I will always support a transformative work. So obviously, the really obvious reason that this deck is a little controversial is because it's demons. I don't mean to make fun. That wasn't very nice of me. I know people really believe things. I just don't. That wasn't fair. I apologize. But if we are going to grant or allow for the existence of demons, we must probably also allow for the existence of angels. And having grown up in the Catholic faith like I did, I had the heavy narrative pushing of the guardian angel, and like most tragically intelligent atheists, like I was just thinking about it too hard one day and my faith just fucking snapped, and it sucked, and I chased it for a really long time, and in chasing it I read a lot of other texts wondering if maybe like Catholicism itself was the problem, because of things that I was noticing as a kid interested in fairness and not seeing a lot of it. So in my travels through different faiths, I read a thing about angels and demons in, like, I believe pulling from Islam, and like I wish I could remember who the article was by or what it cited, but it was someone explaining that, the devil can't create anything, he can only recycle. Oh no, we're not going to do that because the table squeaks. But yeah, the devil can't create anything, he can only recycle. And when you read Jewish texts, they point out that the first time the devil actually appears in the Bible is in the book of Job, and it is as, not adjudicator, what's the word I'm looking for? The entity appears as God's solicitor, so a lawyer, right? And where was I going with this? I had a point. What I read in the, referencing the Muslim texts is that, like, demons are actually still on the side of God. Angels and demons, like, there are no guardian angels. Just as there are no, like, corrupting demons on purpose. Angels bring tasks, and they don't particularly care if you accept them or not. And demons bring tests, and they don't particularly care if you fail or not. And in fact, some of them are even proud of you if you pass. And I liked that the first time it was put in front of me, like that's enjoyable to me. It has agreeable symmetry, they did, like, if dogma can be believed, if canon can be believed, they did all start out on the same side. But anyway, this deck that again calls on the demons, apparently it is asking what tests you have to look out for down the pipeline and how you might best avoid or pass them. That is the first and most obvious controversy. The other insidious one is that if you look at the art, it's not exactly modern art. This deck is based off of not a grimoire, but like a dictionary of demons that was published in France in the 1800s or some shit. What's the year? 1818. The Infernal Dictionary by Colin de Plancy, if I'm saying his name correctly. But in 1818, France, had a problem with racism. I'm sure they've been working on it since. some people, and it probably would have been for me as well if I had known about it before I bought the deck. Because there was a little blurb on the back of the packaging that was like, it's based off of the Infernal Dictionary, but then it didn't tell you anything about the Infernal Dictionary. Colin DePlancy borrowed from other cultures and made gods, demons. But this is a transformative work. It's not Colin DePlancy's presentation or curation. I'm just gonna read it. Here's one final disclaimer before we begin. One man's god is another man's demon. In this book and deck, you will find many demons that have almost always been considered just demons. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here it is. However, in addition to some Christian and regional demons, and a handful of witches, objects, and ideas, there are also some spirits here that are better known as ancient and current gods of other countries and cultures. Some of that is a product of the time, and some of that is down to Colin DePlancy's conversion. Any belief that was different was evil and to be feared. However, just as I don't find the demon Astaros's portrait particularly displeasing to the eye, and I will argue that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I will also argue that interpretations of who is good or evil are in the inner eye of the believer, be they Prussian, Hindu, Inuit, or hellish. It is of some historic value to allow that Colin DePlancy and his contemporaries saw, for instance, the goddess he called Kali with a C, as fearsome and terrible. I won't revise history, but I will balance that entry in my book with other more positive interpretations of Kali, spelled correctly with the K. In that case and a few others, I have kept Colin DePlancy's spelling for the entry, as I think it helps to keep both his and my interpretations a step removed from anyone who would appreciate neither of us commenting on his or her beliefs. Of course, I am publishing a book and deck of occult images and text. No matter how I spell Damon or Kali or anything else, someone may feel insulted by parts of this resource. And then she quotes Shakespeare for dealing with offense, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to infantilize it. I'm not going to brush it under the rug. It's absolutely problematic if I can get away with using that in an unironic context. Again, it's a transformative work, and more than lip service is paid to the sources of the source material, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with where it lands, having worked with the deck for enough of a stretch of time that I feel like, I can take something from the focusing aspect of it that isn't, inherently entrenched in racism. I could, of course, be wrong. I'm always willing to be told about myself. I really don't know what else to say about it beyond, for me, the first thing I said, in combination with the work of the author, about demons actually being value neutral, and better research having gone into the transformative work, that for me is enough to put value on this as a discrete tool. And again, I lay all that out so that people can find the decks that they have affinity with. They can decide if they want to stick around or if they want to leave. I am trying to be as transparent as possible. I didn't have an idea for how to wrap this up. I don't think. If I did, I have since forgotten it in the frustration of my phone being a bastard. Oh, and now my dog's barking. Love it. That's okay. I can sign off. Thank you guys for coming to hang out. I hope this was relaxing or soothing or comforting or good company for anybody still watching. Thank you for listening to my weird theories and stories. I will see you in the new month. Hearts, kisses, respect.